Hey guys, I'm gonna try a little something new on the stream today. It's gonna be a pretty low level, uh, like a low energy stream. I don't really feel like doing all the stuff I normally do. I don't even really want to play video games. I'll just I might just skip that today, make a short one, but also one that doesn't really involve video games. Anyway, you ever see those videos where it's like a Home Depot speed run through with a drone, but it's like the Counter Strike knife guy, like just going off. Those are probably some of my favorite kind of modern meme videos. I've only seen one, and like people edit it with like different music. Maybe I've seen two, but I don't know if it's really like a big thing. But maybe there's like dozens. I don't know, but I mean, I just love them. I think they're awesome. Um, yeah, I had a couple dreams last night. I fell asleep in this room, which is kind of like my studio, and I had this dream where I was Tom Cruise, and everybody was like recognizing who I was and everything, and it was really uncomfortable. And there was this creepy lady who was like a voodoo lady, like magic stalker lady, and it's crazy because I've kind of had an experience with one before when I was like really on top of my shit. Um, this woman sent me this box full of like all kinds of witchy stuff, like a bunch of collages with weird letters, and then like uh, like crystals wrapped in hair and like twigs in shapes of things, and like there was a dead bird and a dead rat in there too, which is crazy. But anyway, she kept calling me after that too because I had my number on my website for a little while. Anyway, it was creepy. So I kind of had like a similar vibe from this lady in the dream because there's this part where I was behind this one way mirror, mirrored on the other side. I could see through on the other side, and like the person I was with was like, "Oh man, that's crazy! Look at them getting arrested or thrown out by the security." And then it's like, "Yeah, it was pretty nuts." And then they looked right at me, like the eyes went like straight into my eyes, and I was just like, "Oh my god, you can see me through the mirror." They said something, and I can't remember what they said. But then um, I remember walking through the mall and just trying to get to the other side of this big plaza, and that was semi difficult. And yeah, I remember drinking a soda. I don't know, all this my minutia was in there too. Then I went into then I went into the other room and fell asleep in there. I had this dream where I was in LA, and it was like this big LA, like sprawling LA. You know how big LA is, and then like it was kind of not like New York City where the buildings are really tall and like all over the place and really old. But it was like a wider spread New York City, more compact LA. It was like a mixture of both. It was really fun, and I just remember smiling and having fun and like just being like glad to be there. Just driving around aimlessly, and there was like Keith Morris was on the radio, and I just remember it's like he was saying something that was really funny, and he started cracking himself up, and then I started cracking up, and I was like, "Damn, this is a fun ass dream." um, yeah, it was fun, and then yeah, I woke up and I was like, "Damn, kind of depressed." And then yeah, I walked into the kitchen. My mom's already awake, and I was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" She's like, "I'm kind of depressed." I was like, "God dang it, we're both depressed. Like, life just sucks, you know? I don't know. It's pretty funny." Anyway, I saw this apartment for like 450, 350 or something, but it was just like it was the it was kind of like a dank looking house. I mean, it looked like a little it had like a little looked looked I don't know. But then you walk in and it's like one room and everything's squeezed in. It's like laundry is like right next to the refrigerator. A little kitchenette, a little bathroom at the end, and then like another one little room where it's like you could put a bed or something. I'm pretty sure there was one other little room. So it's like everything condensed into one room and then a little offshoot room where you can fall asleep. It was like 350 or something. I was like, damn, should I just take that? You know, should I just like live in a place like that? You know, because it would be like I don't know. I mean, this house is nice and everything, but it's just like, I'm 30 fucking 6, dude. So and then yeah, like my engagement on I don't know, this isn't like metric of like how good of a person you are, or it doesn't really have any meaning in real life, but my metrics on Instagram are way below what they've ever been consistently lately. And I'm just like, damn, dude, did I fall off? I've fallen off, So I'm like, well, how do I get back in? And I'm like, do I even want to get back in? And I'm just like, okay, like let's just spend 10 minutes doing something I enjoy. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. It's like spend time and just do something for 10 minutes. It's not gonna that's beneficial to me. So I'm gonna prep a couple pages for comics because I want to get back into comics. I think the next zine I'm gonna make is gonna be comic based content material. So I'm gonna map out some pages for comics, and hopefully, maybe then I'll want to play some games or something. I don't know. Throw my hard drive across the room, and then just like I'm just clearing up the table. But yeah, maybe if someone logs in and wants to play Fortnite, I'll play Fortnite. But yeah, I'm gonna move the. Okay. Um, I have so much junk on this desk. But yeah, I mean, you know, like it sucks being depressed or whatever. Because I don't remember being consistently unhappy for no reason. Basically, like I mean, there's reasons, but nothing's like actively bumming me out. Nothing's like I'm still bummed. I've only sold 2 copies of my zine that I was like hyped up on for a year. I don't know. God damn, dude. And then like I'm putting a lot of time into this streaming stuff, but it's just like okay, like what's the point here? I'm just like asking myself like I mean, what am I getting out of it? I mean, I get something to do, but it's also just like you know I was up last night just thinking like maybe I should just fucking quit streaming stuff. Is this a part of my life that I want to remember? You know, I don't know. Okay, so this is like stained with something, some kind of grease on that page. All right, so this is what I do. I lately, I didn't always do this. I used to go one at a time, but I started mapping out multiple panels at once. So let's get started here. I got my graph gear 1000. And how should I get another page? Because it's been a while since I've done this. Should I get a reference page for how I do this? Okay, I think every panel is 3 inches. I think that sounds about right. 10 panels a page. 10 panels of comic. Oh my god, dude, I'm already losing it. Okay. Okay. That looks about right. Yeah. So I do half an inch, start at half an inch plus 3, half an inch plus 3, half an inch plus 3, and then we got a grid. We got the beginning of a grid here. And yeah, I put on this sweater that I bought when I was living in LA, this white sweater. And like it's kind of comfy. It's like really soft and everything. And I've worn it like once to like an AA meeting when I was like trying to be swaggy. And I don't remember wearing it after that, but I wanted to wear it a lot and get it like grimy and kind of like sooty and nasty. Cause that I remember like one of my friends saying like if you ever want people just avoid you and not talk to you, just wear dirty white clothes. Like like so I was like, I'll just get this sweater really nasty. This nice sweater I bought at the mall at the Beverly Center. Um, but you know that never came to fruition. So I'm wearing this nice white sweater. And I look in the mirror and it's like clinging to my body, and I'm like, ah, damn, I'm fucking fat, dude. It sucks. Like, so I got the depression. I'm overweight. There's probably a lot wrong with me, like physically, like my metabolism, my thyroid. I don't know. And then yeah, it's just the depression's really getting to me lately. But I'm trying to remember that I'm not useless. I do have value, and I do make people happy in my life. I can't forget other people. that, I mean, being depressed is kind of like a selfish feeling because you're like, oh man, I'm not doing blah blah blah. It's like all about you. Um, okay, let's do this again. The 3x3 grid. Okay, so I need to make that a little less. Okay. I think that'll be good. Let's see. Let's see. And then I got to spend some time doing the children's book illustration stuff today. That's always something I like. I have to do that today. And then shoot. Zoot. Lore. Then what else? What else do I have to do? I should write some comics. I should read. I've been reading that children that remember past lives book. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. It's pretty fun. Um, yeah, someone send me a text. Huh. I'm getting a lot of like election stuff for LA. They're like, we got records that you haven't voted yet. Blah blah blah. Please vote. Really aggressive marketing campaign. Um, We got records of that. Somebody in your house didn't vote in 2024. Get them to vote. Blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of people that didn't vote in the last major election. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. I think that's worse than choosing the wrong person, whoever that might be. I don't know. I mean, fucking, I don't know anything about politics. I shouldn't even talk, but they always lie, it seems. So we got a grid, guys, and I only need 10 of these. So two of these I ain't gonna use, but yeah, 3 by 3. Um, that's my standard comic size. Lately, I've been doing 6 by 6, and then I've been inking them too. So it's like it's a little more work, but it's a little more leeway with like how it looks. But for these comics, I'm going back to 3 by 3, the old style. And then someone text me again. Golly. Oh, it's just the reminder thing. Anyway, so now I take the clear ruler, the little 6-inch ruler here, and then I mark where the text boxes are going to go. So I do 3/8 of an inch on each side. So we'll mark all those, and then we'll just do lines where those go. And then 3/8 of an inch from the top as well. And all these are like designed for Instagram, like, so when I do it in this format, it's specific for Instagram. It's a square format. It has room, so none of the intrusive little indicators like, hey, you're on slide 1 out of 10 or whatever. Like it'll show that in the corner every time you swipe a new slide. All the important information is out of the way, is not going to be covered up by like those stupid little things. And because that's important, because like when I do the 6 by 6 ones, I realize that like sometimes the words get cut, because like it's just the format of the Instagram page or whatever. And yeah, they're pretty easy to print too. Like when you go to print these, like they print well, even though it's designed for Instagram. They still print good. It's just a nice format to work in. I could show you what some of my other ones look like in a moment. Some of them go off, some of them, like, I get a bunch of notes on like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, or Tumblr. Some of them ain't so hot, but I'll show you some anyway. The ones where I tend to make some kind of big statement about life tend to do well. The ones about depression sometimes do okay. Sometimes the ones where I'm trying to be like a little bad boy style, don't really pan out very well. The ones where I'm just tracking life seem to do okay too. I'll show you the first one that went off, which is like the second one I made was like really, it was like just as COVID was starting or something, and people really responded to it for some reason. That's what I knew. I was cooking with gas. I always wanted to do comics too. Like it wasn't some new kind of thing that happened. I had done comics in the past, like in college and stuff, and I turned in as like painting assignments like these big comics that were like painted. Sometimes, I mean, none of the stuff I turned in was finished. Like there was always unfinished, but it was like, yeah. So I'm doing this comic that's like this. I'm using like this big 24 by 30 watercolor page to like do a watercolor of a comic that I want to do. So it's like the first page of this big comic, but I just wanted to make it like this big piece. Anyway, so I would have these critiques, and people would be like, "You should go down to the sequential arts building and talk to one of the professors there. Like, you should get, you know, feedback from them and talk to them about comics and stuff." And it's always kind of, I was always like, "Yeah, I'll do that," and then just never did. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. I wasn't good at being a student. Really, I didn't really like utilize all the resources or like ask enough questions or have like deep enough conversations. I don't know. I was always just kind of a little dickhead. Like when I was running around at school, I remember this bad night where I was just in a foul mood and I was at the bar and I was just drinking and I ran into my printmaking professor who I'd been kind of like a snotty little jerk to sometimes. Like she'd be like, "Hey, this is a really good thing," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, I made it." That was one of my responses one time, and it's so cringe. And then ran into her at the bar, and then she's like, "What are you doing here? Like, you seem kind of drunk, Like, and like, I don't know. She could tell I wasn't happy or something, and then I was just like, "Oh, yeah, nowhere else to be. I have nothing else to do." She's like, "If that was true, you wasted all of our time," or something like that. I don't know. She got my case about just my behavior, and I remember like she's like, "Well, why are you talking to us?" And I was like, "Well, I got nothing, no one else to talk to," or so I don't know. Something I don't know. I can't remember what I said, but she got my case about that. She's like, "That's a jerk ass thing to say. You're a jerk. You could be a real big jerk." Well, and I was just like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." Um. Anyway, let's look at some of these comics, shall we? Enough talk about the comics. I got the. That's how long it took me to panel these out. So, hey, that idea to spend 10 minutes doing something therapeutic worked out. Something beneficial to me and therapeutic worked out. So, let's look at the comics themselves, huh? Making sure I don't have anything else pulled up. All my secret websites put away. Okay. Don't save Ableton. Okay. We'll go to my website. So this is my website. Lamaho.com. Simple. That's my name. That's my .com. So let's check out the shop. So I got Every Star 2, drawings, essays, signal, debris, 76 pages, things witnessed, remembered, misunderstood, and preserved. So please buy one. I have 15 copies. I've only sold 2, so depending on how they sell, if they sell, determines if I make any more. Can you believe that, like, at the print shop that I went to, I was gonna ask for 50 copies, like, but with the belief that I was gonna get rid of all of them kind of quickly. I was like, man, people want to see this. People are gonna be excited as I am. you know. Um, I made this one in October. I put it on sale for half off. 21 pages in a manila envelope. Um, and I don't know, for some reason I draw this kind of scene a lot. It was like this wine bar that I used to go to in Echo Park called El Prado. I used to go there like more than any other bar. I liked it in there. It was cozy, and there was always babes in there, and it was fun, and a little atmosphere. But sometimes it wasn't. Like there's this one bartender who really didn't like me, and I would go there when I was sober, and I would go in there and play Pokemon Go, and I just remember this one time he came up to me and he was like, I was like, "Hey, can I get another apple juice?" And it's like not cheap. It was like $9 bottle of apple juice or something, $12, nine or $12. I can't remember, and they were as expensive as a glass of wine. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll just like have another apple juice." I had three apple juices, and then he cut me off, and he was like, "Can I get you anything else? Anything?" Like he just wanted me to get drunk, or something, or like do something else. I was just at the bar, just like in Pokemon Go, like occasionally like turning to like catch a Pokemon, and then like he just hated that I was doing that in there. So he wanted me out. So I was just like, okay, I get the vibe. I'll get out of here. But anyway, I spent a lot of time in there. I spent a lot of money in there. They have these meads that are so good. I think they're like $15 or something, but it's like this big. It's like a glass this big, and it's so tasty though. It's kind of like the best juice like you've ever had, but yeah, it's just expensive. I had them like once in a while as like a special thing. Anyway, so I draw El Prado. I For some reason after I left LA, drew El Prado like five times. But yeah, this is a zine I made in October. It's really fun. I had a lot of fun making this one. This one came out good, and like both of these are printed at home. I went to Staples. Staples is the only place to print things out here anymore, which bums me the hell out because I liked the other place a lot, Quick Copy. And then there used to be a ink store too, Think for Ink, that I used to go to, and it's not there anymore either. Anyway, um, so I print these out at home because it's just way cheaper, way more less efficient. I mean, it took me like a day to print this. To print 15 copies took me like 4 hours, but um, yeah, I mean they look good. They look good. I still have like a 12 of these, so if you want one, just tack it on. I got my shirts here. I was gonna design a bunch of these, and then I have like alternates and stuff, but yeah, I don't live in LA anymore, so it's like I can't do this stuff. Like, oh man, love that shit. I love that shirt. I don't know why it's not selling. Like, I still have like 30 of these. I thought they were gonna be gone in like a second. I got these. I don't know if I could show the back of this one, but yeah. Anyway, let's look at the comics archive. So the second one, this one with the bugs, this was like the one that really spoke to a lot of people. I don't know why, but yeah. See, like, okay, so I did my first one. It's about like guns and stuff. Seen any good movies lately? Just a couple paranormal comps on the YT. Anything scary? Not a thing. What scares you? Grief, disappointment, loneliness. So life, haha. Sometimes I fear no one will ever touch my dick again. What scares you? The unlawful use of a firearm. I don't know, kind of goofy, but it doesn't really make sense. But anyway, what's a perfect morning look like to you? So it's these cockroaches, because I had cockroaches in my room. I like lived in a basement, and yeah, there were always bugs in my room, man. Like, I mean, I kept it clean. I didn't leave food out. I don't know. There's always bugs. So what's a perfect morning look like to you? I like to wake up at 6 and then go back to sleep for an hour. So I was imagining, what if these two bugs in the corner of my room are just having a little conversation. There I am drawing the comic. And this is how my room looked. So I had my computer against the wall here. I had like my bed along the wall here, and then there was this gate and a door leading to outside. So I had my own entryway, which was one of the big reasons why I got this apartment, was because I had my own entrance. So I didn't have to go through the house and see any of my roommates whenever I left or came home. And then this little alcove, and then there was like I kept like food storage here, like plates and like stuff here on a table. So I had like granola bars and like cereal and stuff. I didn't have like full meals out or anything. Had like dry food, you know. And then there was a bathroom like over here. So that's another reason why I liked this place, is because I had my own bathroom too. And I swear, if it wasn't for this setup during COVID, I would have lost my shit. I would have lost my fucking mind. Um, because it was just really nice for me to just kind of be very private. Um, okay, and then see, I like these elements of erasure too, where you could see like where I had written something. There's more in other comics. Other comics have more like interesting erasure moments, but I like those. I like to see that. Anyway, then I ride around the park on my bicycle. So I just bought a bicycle, and I had done this like a few times, just ridden around the park, and it was always so fun just to get the wind in my hair. That was a nice bike too. I liked that bike a lot. No breakfast, banana. Then I write in my diary, hopes and dreams, thoughts and schemes, and he's like in the cup. That's what's up. So it's so simple, but for some reason, a lot of people like latched onto that one, and like a lot of people had fun with that one. I don't know, like it's just this lighthearted kind of thing. I got one message though that was like, "Yo, you shouldn't have bugs in your room. Like that's a concern. That's a huge red flag right there." Is like the bugs aren't cute or something. Like I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. I know, like I know I shouldn't have like cockroaches in my room, but I do. Um, so this is just a random one. Oh man, I remember when I was feeling like this. I think this is like when me and this girl just stopped hanging out, and I was really thrown by it. And I made like the next 20 comics just being in a pissed off mood, trying to like explain myself. Anyway, since I can remember, I felt unfit for this world, and this world felt unfit for me. I held on to hatred's hand, chaos, my friend and guiding light. Hidden beliefs made themselves clear in subtle and unsuspecting ways. Consider what actions and words communicate. Become aware of your own expectations. Adopt expectations of greatness. Best artist ever. So like, um, trying to make advice for myself, I guess. I don't know. So let's see what number 60 looks like. There's a voice in my head, and it sounds just like mine. It says I have to be in pain every day, all the time. Relief is so temporary, it makes me freak. I could die tomorrow, and I wonder if I even lived. Is this my fate? Wake me up when I'm dead. I think I made this one into a shirt, because for a second I was like, that one's kind of emo. Anyway, I was like, I was transferring them onto shirts, and I sold all of them. Like I sold all the shirts I made. Like I drew on a bunch of shirts too. Anyway, let's see what number 90 looks like. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This one still gets hits every now and then. Like people discover this one and like reblog it and stuff. I like to spend every waking moment trying to get through to you. And he's like popping out of the flower, and he's like, oi, with the feeling, with the real feeling, all consuming. And that's her in a psych ward, you know, like insanity or ecstasy or people's gigantic, something that hits like grief. That's the away team, Heaven's Gate people. As arresting as that first time, kind of self-explanatory, nothing to compare it to. Sometimes I'll do these full color panels. They're so fun to do. Um, Brand New, Big Love, Indelible Forever, Francis Bacon. Yeah, this one's good. I like this one. This one's got a little everything. It's like bad boy. It's like a little bad boy, a little bit good guy. Um, like the cuteness, the realness, the grief, the hotness, the color, the art history. It's got a little bit of everything in there. It's a good one. That's a real good one. Let's see what 120 looks like. So for a little bit, I was writing these signal two. I was writing this in the corner of them, which I'm gonna stop doing. Because I was gonna compile them into the signal comic compilation kind of thing. Like I was gonna put out this comic book and it just said like signals or something, and they would all be numbered like this. But I'm gonna quit doing that. Anyway, morning light through the trees. The air is cold and clean. Somewhere a bird is already awake. The world keeps starting over. Without asking permission, I step outside, not fixed, not finished, but alive in it. And that feels like enough. Yeah, I have a lot of these panels where I'm just like walking, like it shows my feet just moving through the world, man. This is down the street. This is the last turn you get to before you take before you get to my road. There's like a house full of like battered men up here or something. I don't know. It's just like a men's living situation, and there's like 20 of them in there, and they're all just like vaping all the time, and like I mean, good for them for trying to get help or whatever, but it's kind of a strange setup. And one of them is always working out outside, just going. And this is like, there's a really fancy house up this street, big ass house. Anyway, this is Thumb Butte. You see Thumb Butte from like all over town. This is me on the porch. This is pretty much what the porch looks like. Toaster. My neighbor's bird feeder. My neighbor is probably outside right now, just like he's always outside. That's me going out the sliding door. We have a bunch of like pictures and like the water heater thing, and this is the view outside my room. Like I can see those trees right now. Anyway, pretty good comic. Signal 8. This one gets a lot of hits on. This is the last one that I uploaded. This one gets a lot of hits. Even it's my latest one, but I mean, people still. I did it like 2 months ago or something, and people are still discovering it and like reblogging it. It's all about being a crazy person in the mental institution, and kind of what brought me there and stuff. Um, so this I think this is my last one about that kind of thing, about like the mental break that I had. These are all true too. These are all real lived comic. All these panels are real lived experiences. So as an artist, this is like art therapy. Like they had like a box full of pencils or crayons or whatever, and then we were just drawing, and everybody was just looking at mine, just being like, "Wow, you're really good at this." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of the only thing I'm good at." So yeah, we're all kind of depressed except for the therapist lady. It's like listening to music on like the radio, and then I have a really weird thing with electronics, like especially if I'm kind of manic or something. Electronics just act fucking weird around me. Like we turn on the radio and it's just static. It's just like, and then periodically it would just like shift into like three different radio stations or something. Like it was just weird, and the lady was just like, "Oh, it's never done this before," or whatever. Not that I'm like, I was in the gate program, But not that I'm some kind of like X-Men mutant freak or something, but yeah, electronics tend to act goofy when I'm like in a weird state. It's really important. Anyway, so this is how I would use the bathroom because I got admitted without any clothes. I got admitted in my boxers, in my briefs. So when they do that, you either wear like clothes that like a family member brings you, and they can't have like string, they can't have like buttons, they can't have anything that would you like choke on or like hang yourself with or whatever. Anyway, they give if no one brings you clothes, then they give you the little scrubs, like the onesie. But this one was like a two piece. And every time I had to have to take a shit, I would have to take the whole thing off and then just I draped it over the door so my roommate would know that I'm in the bathroom like taking a dump. So I'm completely naked every time I have to use the bathroom to have tools you really like using. And so that's one of the nurses or whatever taking notes. They're constantly taking notes, monitoring what you're doing. And so I'm reading this book of Psalms and noticing him out on the porch, noticing him like taking notes behind the window. It's weird when you're in that kind of state of mind, like everything you read, everything you like touch or whatever, like has a weird way of relating to you. Like when you're kind of manic or whatever, like everything like I was opening it to random passages and then just reading out what it said, and it was always like spot on to like what I was thinking or feeling. And that's, probably a symptom of mania, but it does feel like a heightened sense of awareness too. It's just like, oh, this applies to this oddly applies to every facet of my life at the moment. That's how it feels. Anyway, pens and pencils. This is a moment that I had in my house before I got admitted to the mental hospital. I walked out and both my roommates were like eating dinner or something, and I was just naked, and I was just standing there naked. I sat down, which is disgusting because I left I left a little booty stamp on the chair, but um, golly, yeah, I was just naked, and my roommates were just like, didn't know what to do. A comfortable chair. Anyway, so that's me like freaking out of my gourd. A quiet place to work, and that's right after I smashed my fist through the front door window. I remember this moment where my brother was holding my arm, and I was bleeding because I punched through the glass. And I thought my brother, my initial thought, because I just snapped back on online like when this was happening. It was just crazy. I thought my brother was cutting my arm up, and then my other roommate was like, I thought these people were trying to hurt me, but I was just hurting myself and like making a lot of noise, and they were just trying to hold me back. And my other roommate is calling the police. That was a crazy moment, man. That was a really nuts moment for me. Like, I mean, for everybody's. I'm sure was wants to wishes that didn't happen. Anyway, this is me getting stitched up. So time to think. This is like a red herring comic. It's like talking about the artistic process and little things to help you be a good artist, and then like all this crazy shit's happening. Anyway, so this is me getting my arm stitched up, which the lady had she she injected the Novocaine or whatever, the numbing stuff, like all along my cut. I had this giant gash in my arm, and so she did like she did a lot of shots, like a dozen shots. I'm not kidding. And the nurse who was admitting me, who wheeled me in, he was looking at her taking like excessive shots, and he was like, I think that's enough shots. Like he doesn't need like stop doing that. She was getting some kind of joy off of doing that. I felt, like some kind of sadistic thing, and I was just like, I mean, she probably thought I was like I don't know. I don't know what she thought I was, but she wasn't. She put a lot of shots into me anyway. So she stitched me up. I watched her do it. Even a little feedback helps. And this is like the nurse and then the security guard, and they put me in this room that was like all the it was like a monitoring room. It was like a pretty big room, and it had all the nurse stuff in it and everything, and then it just had this big plate of glass, and there was like constantly like four or five people like on the other side of it, like interacting with each other or like staring at me or whatever, and it felt like a fucking movie. It was the most bizarre thing. Like I just remember just eavesdropping over everything because there's nothing to do, and you're just like bored and you're like half out of your mind. And so anyway, they were talking about all kinds of stuff. They were talking about um like they were having this deep discussion about race, and the black dudes were like saying things that the white guys weren't really understanding. Like um they were talking amongst themselves about like, can you imagine, can you believe this guy actually believes any of this stuff? Like it's kind of crazy. Like I mean, but saying it in a way that the other guy couldn't understand. um and then the white dude was like this security guard. I think he was like an ICE security guard or something. He was like working for ICE, and he was like saying all this stuff about like profiling and just like race relations and stuff, and it was just crazy. I don't know, it was a weird moment. It felt like a movie. It felt like somebody was giving me a history lesson through like a weird kind of lens of reality. I don't know. It was very bizarre. But anyway, so nurses kept walking by, taking notes about me, and like jotting down the numbers on the machine and stuff. And yeah, the security guards just looking at me. Um, and then so constructive critique. Here I am getting wheeled into the ambulance to go to the mental hospital, and it was crazy going to the mental hospital because they like at that point I was a little more with it. I was like, oh, like I'm not Dennis Rodman. I'm just Lamaho, and I had a mental breakdown. So reality is starting to settle back in, and we're talking about wrestling for some reason. Some wrestler had just died, and for some reason that got brought up, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be too bummed out until probably Goldberg dies. Which Goldberg is a horrible wrestler. He hurt a lot of people. He would hurt everybody he worked with, basically, and that's not good for wrestling stuff. Anyway, um, and then he was just kind of like, "Yep," or something. And then but Goldberg was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. I just thought he looked cool, and he would just tackle people. That was his special move, and I liked doing that. So I tackled people at school, just imitating Goldberg. And like I saw that Universal Soldier movie when it came out. I thought that was, I don't know, at the time I thought it was cool. I just probably dog shit now, but anyway, this is me getting released from the mental ward. They didn't give me my phone. I forgot how I got my phone back, but they did give me a bag, and it had a biohazard symbol on it, and I think it was just my license. It was like my wallet. I don't know if it was my whole wallet or just my license. I think it was just my license, actually. But anyway, they gave me this bag, and it had a biohazard symbol on it. It just said Lamaho K on it. um so let's read the whole comic really quick. As an artist, it's really important to have tools you really like using: pens and pencils, a comfortable chair, a quiet place to work, time to think. Even a little feedback helps. Constructive critique, or just a like on Instagram. But it's not really about any of that stuff. um, so yeah, those are my comics. There's 126 of them if you want to take a deep dive and just kind of go through them. Some people do that, like friends of our family and stuff will tell me once in a while, like, "Hey, I found your site and I read a bunch of your comics. They're really good." Blah blah blah. I'm like, thank you, thank you. I'll keep making them. I guess that's how I respond to. Hey, I like your art. I guess I like your art. I always go. I guess I'll keep making it then. Um, that's some of the stuff I've done. Anyway, you can check out the paintings. I got gouache. I got oil. I got ink. I got a bit. So these are some of the ones I've done at home. This is the last one I did in LA, and I had to do it. So like I had to get this out of my head. This image. I just thought it was so funny for some reason. And at the time, I was like, gotta get this done before I go back home because I was visiting on like a birthday or a Christmas or something, and I was like, got this idea like the day before I had to leave, and I went to the studio and I stayed there all night just making this because I had to do it. I just felt I had to. I had this compulsion to do it before I left for home, and so I did this in like a night. I mean, I just copied somebody else's art, but I mean, it's a pretty nice job for doing it in like a day. I remember making this one. Um, Me and this girl stopped hanging out. It's the same girl I keep talking about, but we just stopped hanging out, and this dude did a painting with the bricks in it and stuff, and she wrote a comment on it, and I was like, I'm gonna do bricks in my next painting, and I'm gonna kick that guy's fucking ass with my brick painting. So this is me trying to compete with somebody else, and then this is my little iteration of him. It was this handsome blonde kid, and I just drew him bleeding out of his head and stuff, and all this other crap. I don't know. It's just junk. Like just practicing junk. Um, but I like the balloons. The balloons came out good. And then these are just dumb things I did at home. Just like had this compulsion, just like I gotta make some art. I gotta do some art stuff. Um, so this is me just kind of feeding that impulse and just practicing. Not bad. I mean, there's moments in here that I like a lot. Like I like these flowers, and this is cool, and this little square here is good. Um, that's clean. But I mean, like this, I hate that. I hate this area. This area is good. Half of this painting sucks. I think, and then this one is just fun too. It's okay. It's not the best. It's just color. It's just like color and some vague hints at figures. I don't know. I don't really know. A little poem here. Moment misplaced. Feeling saved. Shine polite. Show me the door. Huh. I don't know. Oh, this is the old one. Everybody was telling me to paint southwestern stuff. I mean, everybody's like, you should try and paint like Sedona or like the woods or like a sunset or something. Everyone, my whole life has been like, you should do some kind of. Oh, especially at art school, I had this one professor who was like, you should do um Native American work. You should use that. You should, because you're Native American, you're allowed to do it. You should depict like native stuff. And I'm like, I always hearing that made me want to freak out. Like, so this is my response to that, and it says rat fucker in hunter's orange blending into the landscape. It just says rat fucker. So when people say, why don't you do Southwest art? I'm like, yeah, I do. I did show them this. And then they're like, wow, see, this is what I like. This is what's really pretty. This is this is what I would do or something if I was an artist, and then they don't see this little tag in the bottom right. Pretty smart. I want to go through these quick because there's like some that are inappropriate to show. I guess they're not that bad, but um, yeah, this one my therapist was like, "I want you to make some art." Oh, yo, what up, Horza? Sorry if your message is old. I've been staring at the screen for a moment. Um, anyway, what is up? What? Hopefully you're still there. I'm gonna check back in a moment, but I'm just doing an overview of my art stuff. So this one, my therapist was like, I want you to make a painting that when you look at it, you feel you get transported into a tranquil place, into a good place or something. So I was like, okay. So what makes me feel good? I was like, these comics, making comics, driving around, this old western kind of stuff. Like, get that thinking about my dad when I think about old west stuff, and so redoing like a cowboy kind of thing, cowboy motif was kind of for him. I've always liked goblins and trolls or whatever, and so I just did a batch of them here, just like as clean as I could, just like for fun, you know. Wandering around at night really makes me feel good. And here's my little outfit: my black hoodie, my baggy jeans, my Adidas, and my spiky bracelet, and then I gave him like these kind of creature. Dang it, I wish I could zoom in. These like sharp fingernails to kind of suggest that he's like not really all that human. He's like this night stalker freak guy. But yeah, being outside at night made me always feel pretty good. Um, Here's my little tag name. I always X out my tag name when I paint it and stuff. Which somebody was like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." Like it's just fun to like cross yourself out. And then this, like, I copied from some other artist. I didn't ask for permission. I never really do when I make these paintings, but some other artist like did this, and I copied it like one to one perfectly, colors and everything. And their profile disappeared after that. They saw somebody tagged them in my painting, and then they just deleted their whole shit. Or maybe they blocked me, I don't know, but they probably blocked me now that I think about it. But yeah, I don't know. They didn't like it that I just copied, but you know, whatever. Serenity. So I was going to a lot of meetings and saying the serenity prayer all the time. God, grant me the strength to do the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the strength to guide. I can't remember how it goes, but you know the Serenity Prayer. Let's look at some other ones. So my favorite one, I like. This is a self portrait. I did this for a flyer for this band called Eeks in like South America or Brazil or something. I don't can't Puerto Rican. I don't know. I can't remember, but some band non English speaking wanted a flyer, and they're like, "You could do whatever you want," and I was just like, "Well, I'm gonna do a self portrait." And it's funny because people ask me to do this style of painting a couple times since then. They're like, "I want a portrait done, but I want it done like this," or like, "I want a painting, but I want flowers in it, just like this type, this just like how you did here. I want this in a different painting." And a lot of people ask for flower paintings actually, but like um anyway, so I this is me sitting on like a little. I like how I made the wood this weird purple color. I like that, and like I like this cartoon. God, it like the paint application is so pretty on this. And then yeah, the denim I tried to make look good and get the shoes good, and then this I kind of like tried to make a little cartoony on the skin, and then yeah, the sweater has no dimensionality, and I like that too. And there's this moment here. I don't know if you can catch that, but the leaf is clinging through this blue panel, which I thought was like genius. I was like, this little moment right here where this leaf is coming through, but it's kind of it's like clinging on like hanging over the thing. I'm like, oh, that's so sick, you know? It's like these little details that no one will ever notice, but gets me psyched. And then yeah, the cartoon of the Felix letting the dog off the chain. It's a nice little moment. Um, Very clean. Look at how clean that is, man. Like it's like the actual cell from the animation. That's kind of nuts. And yeah, I gave myself these like pointy eyebrows. I like doing these pointy eyelashes on characters. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. This was around the BLM riots. I had wanted to paint this image for a long time, and then when the BLM riots started, I was like, I gotta do something, you know. So it's like their tagline is like, "We keep the people going" or something. I can't remember, but or like we're on the riders' side, and then he's in the Rough Riders, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Um, this painting, I can't remember who did this painting originally. Maybe like Andrew Wyeth or something, or can't remember. But I remember wanting to paint that for a long time, and then yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel this one's fun. I remember showing this one at a show, and this girl asked me if I went to AA or NA. At the time, I didn't, and I just kind of laughed. I was like, no, like, damn, that court, like, no way. And then yeah, I ended up going for 3 fucking years. Oh, but I wanted this done as a back piece. A friend of mine has this painting that I used to work with, who was the coolest coworker I've ever had. Um, we tried to start playing music at one point, but you know, those kind of projects typically fall through for me. And anyway, so I wanted this done as a back piece at one point. With this ghoul with this kind of masher thing, just bonking up people on the head, like really into it, like really heavy metal style. I was like, yeah, I'll have that on my back when I go to the beach, and I'll just be this like destroyer crusher man guy at the beach. And yeah, so and then it's got the little Jolly Bee like calling your order. I love that little logo. I love that little face. I use it in some of my online profile stuff. Oh, this one's good. I did this one. This one was one of the paintings I did towards the end of. Somebody commissioned me to do like 6 paintings, and I think this was the last one. They were like, I just want 6 paintings, 12 by 12 record format. They could be whatever you want. And so I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's like my favorite kind of gig. So I did 6 paintings, and I think this was the last one, but this was like an ode to the back of house, you know. So it's like these workers cleaning these intestines out or whatever they're doing, and they're in the back, and then this is like their storage room. This is like the walk-in where they have all the meat and the fowl and all the artichokes and all this stuff just hanging around. And so I wanted to do something like this for a while, where it was like, because older artists like during the Renaissance and stuff used to do these paintings to kind of show off their skill. They would have all these different textures, all these different colors, all these different things going on, like um so I was like, let me get some bird, let me get some bird action. Let me get some deer action. Let me get some plant action, and some like fabric and wood and like all this stuff. And then let me put the Pro Clean logo over it. This is the logo I used to stare at because I started as a dishwasher. They had me doing dishes for like 3 days or something. And are the big thing, I still want one of these for like my house, like my dream house, is I want one of those dish cleaners where you load in all the dishes, you slide the thing in, and you pull the thing down, and it just shoots water everywhere. You get like a million dishes done in like 5 seconds. So anyway, this is the logo that was on the side of the machine, and at the time I was like, if you know this logo, it's this painting's for you. Um, and yeah, I just thought this is still such a nice painting, man. How did I do that? And I didn't trace any of this. Like, I seriously just pulled this up on a computer, and well, I traced the logo. I remember tracing all the logos, but everything else I pulled up on the computer and just replicated it like as closely as possible, like one to one, just penciling it in and getting it right, getting all the proportions correct, making sure everything lines up right, and then just staring at the picture while I was painting and just matching everything. Just meticulously looking back, mixing paint, like just getting really into this hyper focused zone. It taught me a lot, and I miss painting like this. I mean, this one's pretty good. I use a lot of like skinhead kind of imagery. I just think they look very menacing and like they carry a lot of charged energy that I like to use. So that's of course the Mr. Clean logo, but he's like skinheaded out with the devil horns, the devil tail, and then there's the urban camo. I remember wanting to do this for a long time. I was like, I need a painting with urban camo on it, and so I finally did it, which I think is like the cooler camo. And like I like the cool colors, like the blue colors, but I also like the one that's just gray and white, um, urban. And then yeah, so this I wanted it to be like the North Koreans, the rooftop Koreans when LA was having its riots, and these are from stills or like documentaries or like pictures of the rooftop Koreans where they would just stand on the roof with their guns and just like guard their businesses. And then yeah, this is like kind of like the uh FTW, ACAB cops just getting demolished. I like this little red light thing. I forgot where I got this panel from, but I put the Mickey and Minnie walking across the street, just like, oh, we're in love, but everything's going crazy around us, kind of thing. And this like Hitman 2. This is kind of what COVID felt like for me. COVID felt very much like this little motif right here. That little section in the bottom. It felt very much like that. Um, and yeah, this one I like this one a lot. It's like this corporate logo that everybody knows, just smiling over these grieving skeletons. This like in the throes of grief, just like death, but they're also kind of smiling too. Like they have like these smiling shapes, and but yeah, I wanted to do something meticulously skeletal, like I wanted to do I wanted to do bones, but like what is it called? Like medically accurate bones. So I saw a painting out that had all these guys in it. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Put him in front of the Michelin guy. This one's about punk. This one's about finding a secret warehouse or whatever. and then having the knowledge. That's what like erudite means, is like being knowledgeable. Having the street knowledge to go to a place that has all these dudes in it just rocking out, just fucking throwing around their fists and doing whatever. Not that like my town had like a, it did kind of have a skinhead problem, like the bad skinheads. When I was a kid, there was this car that used to drive around with a giant swastika flag in the back of it, and me and my friends used to throw rocks at it whenever we saw it. Um, and yeah, like I remember walking around downtown in my punk gear, and then some Nazi guy was like, "Hey, you should come to our little warehouse and see this. We're doing a screening a movie. You should come see it." And then I was like, "I don't want to have anything to do with you guys." Um, and then I remember one time I was walking outside the bars, and this dude comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you need to change those laces like right away. If the guys in this bar see you with those white laces, they're gonna kick your ass." And I was like, I didn't know people still did that, like the lace code thing. But this was like in the early 2000s or something, and I was like, yeah, whatever, guy. And I just like walked the other way. But and then this is one of those series of the six paintings. This turned into something else. This quick stop. This used to be like a little gas station. Beer and snacks and kind of like a 7-Eleven, and I liked it back then. And that still existed when I made this painting. And yeah, they got the payphones outside, they got the wood pile, they got all you need. It changed into this bougie ass place. They changed the sign, they changed the paint, they changed the decor, they changed everything. And they got rid of this brick and put like some kind of like linoleum over the top or something. Anyway, they turned it into this bougie ass place. I can't remember what it was called, but I went there once and I was like, "Hey, this is a pretty neat little shop." I just talked to them for a while and they gave me a Red Bull. They were like, "Here," like I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get a couple things, but I'm just gonna get this Red Bull, but I'll come back in and get some other stuff some other time." And then they were like, "Oh, just have it, just take it." And they gave me the Red Bull, and then they went out of business in a couple weeks after that. Anyway, this is about walking dogs. I had I didn't have a pit bull or whatever this is, a pibble. I didn't have a pibble, but I had a dog, and I used to walk him like 3 or 4 times a day, and I used to walk past this on our dog walks all the time, and you could tell it's like kind of fall or something because all the leaves are gone, like it's like winter. Um, so I used to walk past this all the time. I took this, so this is from a little iPhone picture that I took. And I always used to have my headphones on, so I was listening to Death Crush at the time, and I was like, I want to paint those hands, but I don't want them to look so gnarly. Like it's a gnarly image, but I don't want them to look like mummified, like real hands. So I like Philip Guston it up, and I was like, let's make these hands cartoony. Um, so that's why I did. I was like, let's make this like a gut, like let's make Death Crush how Guston would paint it. So that's how I came up with that. And then this is just the image. I think I got it from RB Kitaj in one of his paintings. It's like this guy's walking on a boat, like a cruise ship or something, and then so his foot's sticking out. See, I do this panel a lot in my comics too. Um, so he's like walking across a boat or something. But I had these shoes at the time too, and I really loved them. The Vapor Max Nikes, just all like straight white with the clear. I liked them a lot, and they got all nasty though. They got all like yellow, and I ended up just tossing them. I think I just tossed them. I don't think I have them anymore. I wish I still had them. That'd be fun to wear. But yeah, and then I don't know why I came up with this like Neapolitan kind of style, like strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Um, I think I just wanted something kind of recognizable, like a color scheme that was like, oh, that's Neapolitan style, like, um, This one's kind of my favorite image that I've done. So I have this logo tattooed on the back of my head, not like this. It's like it's just solid black, but I have this on the back of my head, and it's my favorite logo, the OG Unreal logo. And yeah, it's got that mixed native woman from Tekken. Um, don't remember her name, but it's got her character selection. And then yeah, I like doing this effect where it's like kind of tie dye, but kind of like just messy paint all over the place. And then blue vinyl gloves, which is this is the type, and this is the font style that they had on the gloves that I used to have at work. Um, it had this like 3D effect, and it was just blue vinyl gloves. I looked at that box and I was like, I'll just steal that. Um, oh, this is for an album cover. I really like how this turned out. It's super clean, interesting, and yeah, it blends in all this stuff, but they can't sell it because of the big Newport logo. Um, I guess that's a big no-no is to have like a logo. And then these fake prices, which I thought were really funny. Record stores really don't like these fake prices. Um, I knew this was a product, and I knew this was kind of like edgy for a product to have like these fake prices. But to me, they were funny, and like that impulse to make the prices fake. Just and all having all this stuff mixed together was really interesting and fun for me. Paul Oshello or something is the guy who paints these nights. So I just copied a few of his paintings, and then there's an Edward Hopper in the back. I painted Edward Hopper. And then yeah, some anime stills, and then I got this border design from a Russian um, postcard. Um, and then yeah, I just made all this stuff up. The title of the albums go right across here and stuff. And hey, this one's good. So I painted this one to like um yeah, I was just kind of bored, and I wanted to practice my metallic stuff. And then my grandpa, I learned I before I made this painting, I learned that my grandpa worked for the Morton Salt Company. So I tried to paint that. I incorporate like their older logo into this painting because I always looked at that logo too. I didn't know that about my grandpa, but I always looked at this logo as like, dang, she's pouring out all this salt. Everyone's gonna be upset when she gets where she's going. Like, and it's just like this tragic kind of slice of life image where it's like you're dumping out all the salt that you're supposed to bring home in the pouring rain, and like, you know, you're probably gonna get your ass beat. But she's so like innocent and happy, and like this like style, like this Americana style is like so prevalent in like 60s advertisements. And then yeah, the 60s, you think about that, and then you get into this Manson kind of stuff, the summer of love turned corrupt, and there's these girls that are like Satan girls, and then there's this girl who's like innocent, and then this is like Jesus being led to be crucified or something. I think this is the Jesus's hands, and they're all bound by like somebody, and that's kind of like this bondage image too, is like the fantasy of like this Americana. It's just like we're dragged along and just like smashed all our hopes and dreams against the rocks on the beach. And then yeah, it's just like, so it's this dark kind of chaotic image, and then it's just nature and harmony at the bottom, which is like, yeah, it's just like all this stuff is clashing all the time. I mean, it's just like a reflection of life. I could talk about these ones, I guess. This one's my favorite one. Um, my favorite image I've done. I think it's just so clean, and it really encapsulates everything I was trying to go for. This kind of absurdity of life, and this logo feels like he's just bouncing across the bottom, like a karaoke thing. You know, he's like kind of bouncing word to word, or like space to space, and then he's being chased by Odie or whatever, and Mickey, like old style Mickey on the just like little cartoon dog section, and then yeah, this like I think it's Hercules fighting like I don't know, not Goliath, but these like weird tiger men, and then this like leopard and stuff, and I don't know. I just remember like that looks clean, you know, that looks good. And like it came out a lot better than I thought it would with like the placement, like where it's like this T is like cutting straight through this guy's like eye line, like his eyes just hiding right behind it, you know, it fits all perfect, you know. And then yeah, I really nailed the metallic effect on this one. I think I really dialed it in. And that logo is hard as hell, dude. Like the bleeding obituary, like metallic, sharp ass logo. It looks so sick. It's from the Slowly We Rot album, which I was listening to a lot at the time too. So that's naturally imbued into the friction of this piece. And then this one's for the girls. This one's also for like the Phantasm one. This one's about female empowerment. Um, People would ask me, "What's this painting about?" all the time, and I'm like, "It's kind of just like my painting. That's just like, hey, women should take over for a little while." You know, like I mean, I think this was around the time when Hillary Clinton was running for president. That's who I voted for. I voted for Hillary Clinton, and I just remember being like, "Hey, it's time for a girl to take things over." So this is my painting, kind of demonstrating that because Komatsu is like this industrial, um, kind of like industrial, like what's it called, like not tools, but like you know, like a tractor, like they are tools, but they're for like big construction jobs and stuff. Hell yeah. This one, the Komatsu one, yeah, this one's cool. Anyway, so I uh I copied the because I was driving. Where was I driving to? I was like, I think I was going to the DAV or no, the DMV a lot because I was like trying to transfer my license or something. I was doing some technical thing at the DMV, and every time I drove to the DMV, I drove past this construction site, and they had the big Komatsu tractor parked, and I just thought that logo was really cool. So I copied it, and I was like, you know, give the women the tools for once. You know, let's see let's mix it up and have them build these things. Like put them in this like typically male role and just see what happens. You know. And then yeah, like all these flowers are from that Venus painting where she's in that shell. Um, and then I don't know why I painted the bug. I can't really explain that. I think it. Oh, because I also took these flowers from a Russian postcard. The Russian postcards like have such strong design elements in them. So I copied all the flowers from there. Copied these flowers from the Venus one. I was like, I just want more flowers. So I was like, put more flowers in it, and then I was like, hey, I'm not. This is me, that little beetle guy. That's who I am. I'm just a beetle in this world full of flowers and life and abundance and stuff. And then you know, all due to women, I guess. You know, I mean, there wouldn't be any life without being born from a woman. You know, so it's just like kind of about that. And then I put the riddle box in there. I don't know why. I just needed something to to take up some space, and I was like kind of fascinated by the Juggalo iconography. Um, Juggalo, Juggalette. And yeah, they're all about like the family, they're all about family. And when you watch like American Juggalo, they're like everyone gets respected here, everyone's welcome, everyone's blah blah blah. And I like that point of view too. It's just like this dark hippie kind of um bonding, goes beyond like class and like gender and stuff, I think. This one's pretty neat. I like doing this tribal stuff. Like I like doing this really clean tribal, like there, and then there's another one. I can barely make it out here, but I like doing that clean ass tribal look. Um, Blood in, blood out title screen. That was always like a really eye catching moment for me, was when the blood in, blood out happened. This is like a German camouflage called like Fleckturn, I think. Um, but yeah, I copied that from like this book that I had about camouflage and the importance of blending in. And like a lot of bad ideas get passed around um because they blend in so well, and like people navigate the world in such a way where it's like the most insidious people are the best at blending in. So that's kind of why I do all this like camouflage. And so I thought skinheads wearing tevas was really funny, instead of having like the grinder or like doc grinders. Grinders are a boot. I'm not talking about the app. Like, instead of having like a Doc Martin logo or something, I was like, what if skinheads were tevas? And that was just really funny to me, that idea of just like rebranding like a really hard style look. And then so this shoe is called the American Cage, which is kind of the thesis of the whole painting, is like this whole thing is just a cage for um like American imperialism kind of. And then so yeah, they got the skinhead imagery, and they got all the RAC logos tattooed on their faces and stuff, so they're the bad skinheads. And then the flight jacket, I just wanted to paint a flight jacket like as realistically as I could. So I was just practice there. And then yeah, I like doing these doom sprites. I like doing sprites because it's all like pixelated, and it's just kind of fun to like plot that out and get those right. And so yeah, it's got the doom guys, like the demon heads. So that's just this and this are the same thing. Um, so it's just like um, and then yeah, I don't know why I put this. I smoke Lucky Strikes. If I could get cigarettes, I get Lucky Strikes. If I have a choice, I usually get Lucky Strikes. So I was smoking a ton back then, and I just remember wanting to do a little, like, to do a cigarette carton, and then like I like anime and manga and stuff. So I found this panel and I was like, that's perfect, that's perfect. I gotta paint that. And then so yeah, this is kind of my one of my scary paintings. This is a scary painting too, and the people that vibe with this painting are people that I do not vibe with. um, so this is kind of like a litmus test for racism, I guess. It's like if you dig this painting, you probably don't get it, and you're like probably racist. So this is a good painting to like um get a good read on people, I think. And then yeah, if you're afraid of this painting, if you don't like this painting, that's the proper reaction, I think. Anyway, so this is about slavery basically, and like so it's about how like slavery is as old as King Tut basically, and you got Scorpion and Sub Zero, and they're just locked in this battle forever. So it's like I think, oh, this is when I did this painting when Trump got elected, um, the first time, and I was like, this American style of life is never going to go away, and we're always going to be fighting each other. And it's like Sub Zero and Scorpions. They're always just fighting, you know. And then one of them loses once, and then the other one gets sent back to hell, and then he comes back stronger, and like it just keeps going over and over. So these are the same symbols, you know, the King Tut, the gold sarcophagus, and the Confederate flag are the same, are interchangeable to me. They're both symbols of slavery, you know. And then so I wanted to practice more tribal, and then this logo for this band necrophobic. But if you look at the logo, it looks like it says negrophobic, doesn't it? Like that looks more like a G than a C. And I guarantee you they did that on purpose. And so that's a detail that a lot of people don't catch. Is it says necrophobic, but it looks like negrophobic. And I'm like, okay, so that's a very like that's a charged ass painting, dude. Like, and yeah, you're not supposed to like it. I've shown it to people who have been like, dude, I resonate with that painting so much. That's like that means a lot to me or whatever. I'm just like, sheesh, you know, like kind of caught you on that one. But this one is like, let's see. I don't know. This one was just for fun, you know. Twisted Metal, and then Berserk, and then the real life kind of equivalent of these fantasy worlds, you know, is like speedways and like loud races and stuff. And um, I just wanted an excuse just to paint, you know. So I was like, let me replicate one of these panels because every panel in Berserk is like so detailed and beautiful. So I was like, let me just do one panel that I like, you know, of guts, just like looking sick as hell. So I was like, okay, I got it. I found one. It didn't take that long to find one. Yeah, this one's great. I like this one a lot. I mean, if I could get like a pillowcase of this or like a throw blanket, I would. I just like this one a lot. And then, yeah, with the repeated, uh, and I was really adamant at the time. It was like a joke to me to be like, the clown's name in Twisted Metal is Sweet Tooth. To be like, to die on that hill of being like really like aggro about like teaching people that. So I was constantly saying that for some reason around this time, and I just wanted to paint the Sweet Tooth guy, you know, and that I think it's Twisted Metal too. Oh, it's not the first one then. Yeah, it's the first one. So I got it from the first one, which is just such a sick ass like graphic, you know, like. And yeah, I mean, we talk about Twisted Metal quite a bit. How freaky of a game it is. Yeah. His car is Sweet Tooth. His name's like, okay, his name's Needles Kane. I was gonna say his name is Bishop Kane. Um, Needles Kane. So his name's Needles Kane, and his car's name is Sweet Tooth. Okay, that clears things up. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it now. Needles Kane. But yeah, I just like when the it's part of that genre of like 90s demonic computer world stuff where it's like it had Twisted Metal had all this darkness in it, you know, like I don't know, I just. And then, you know, I think the last game that really had this like that really pushed the envelope of like darkness was probably this game Manhunt. I never played it. It was too scary for me, but oh, this game I think this is the last one that was really like, don't play this because it's fucked up. Kind of like, um, I think this was the last one that really like had that aesthetic. Yeah, I mean, it's just you're running around doing like snuff stuff, and it's just like, whoa. Um, and then yeah, games kind of slowly got less demonic, which is fine, you know. I mean, not every game can be scary, but and then yeah, the I did this one. I can't remember what year I did this one in. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I had a neighbor that was like that. He was he used to generalize a lot. He's like, "Oh, you're Native American? You worship idols. I can't talk to you. Oh, you're half German too? You got a German last name? You're a Nazi, bro. I can't talk to you." Like he was very much into generalizing like that about people's beliefs or whatever. And then he used to be friends with me for some reason. I used to go to his house quite often. I went to like his birthday parties and stuff. But he was this classmate that I didn't really vibe with at all. And I remember one day it was the tipping point. Yeah, probably the tipping point for me. At one point, he was like, "Yeah, when it's Thanksgiving, my mom makes two turkeys. Okay, one for the family and then one for me, and I eat the whole thing." And I was like, "You fucking fat ass piece of shit," or something like. I like really gave him a lot of guff for that. I was like, "That's not even true." And also, you're just fat or something. And like, um, that for some reason, him saying that was like the tipping point. But anyway, um, what was I saying with that kid? I can't remember. Um, let me see. Oh yeah, he had a life like that. Like he had like Duck Hunt. He had like the Costco Duck Hunt game where it was like projected like a little like sprite on the wall if you turn the lights off, and you have like a little laser gun and you like shoot the ducks, and it's like real life kind of. It's like VR a little bit, like primitive VR. Anyway, we're shooting the ducks on the wall and we're having a blast. And his mom comes in and she's like, "Okay, we'd only been playing for like a couple minutes." And she's like, "All right, only 5 more minutes," because she was afraid that like it would permanently imprint some kind of violent tendency in him or something like that. It was like that with everything in the house too. Like he had like a box of movies that he could watch that was all like um Veggie Tales and like Bible stories and stuff. And then he had a whole nother set of movies that he couldn't watch. He couldn't even touch. For some reason, he was able to watch Braveheart, though. I do remember that. Yeah, that was sick. I remember a couple friends had that. That was dope. I'm talking about something different though. It was a different kind of duck hunt. But yeah, I remember those. I remember I really loving duck hunt. I thought that was so fun when I was a kid. Um, but yeah, I had a friend who was like my immortal soul. um, anyway, this painting, this and where is it? So yeah, I mean you could tell this painting is a remix of this painting. I was just like, oh, like my paintings back then were really flat. You know, I mean there were attempts at realism and dimensionality, but still for the most part my paintings were pretty flat. And I just remember looking at this and being like, I like this painting a lot. Let's see how far my skills have progressed. You know, let's just redo this painting, but like let me go full buck wild on it. So that's where this comes in, where it's like the texturized brick, graffiti, plant, cigarette, dimensionality on the latex leg. The dog's a lot more realistic. I don't know if dogs actually look like this. Like I remember spending a lot of time on the mouth area, like getting those like the pinks and the teeth right and everything. But I don't know if like Rottweilers actually have this weird face, but probably not. Anyway, I wanted it to look kind of like a semen diagram when he's like dripping out the mouth, like those scientific depictions of sperm. Uh, I thought that was like very like I thought I was being smart or something, you know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, here's another dog one. I was really into painting dogs for a minute. I like this one a lot. This one's like one of my innocent ones where I'm like, this is a picture from like a sculpture. Somebody sculpted this out of wood and put it in a catalog, and I was like, let me just copy that. Um, and I wanted this pink smoke. I had no idea about this concept of the pink cloud from like sobriety or whatever, but I was like, let me just paint the pink smoke. And then yeah, I got these from some I was so into Russian uh iconography pictorials or whatever. These are also from some Russian cartoon. These like flat like vases with the flowers or and the birds and stuff. Yeah, simple, just a little innocent painting. And this was one of the first ones where I was like, hell yeah, I'm really like cooking with this like logo shit. This is the first one where I was like, hell yeah. Um, it's got the Goya in the background, which I had just seen this Goya exhibit with all his etchings, which look like this. They were all like depictions of war, and so this one's like the decapitated body with the arms missing, and this guy hanging on the tree, like just death, you know. And they're all from like lived experience too, which is gnarly. And then the dog from the Jesus Lizard album. I was like, wouldn't that be cool if he was just kind of like descending the painting? And then yeah, I was like, hey, let's make this about cigarettes. Cool. And then like, so that's like the logo infiltration into this serious scene, and like the American consumerism just kind of pervading everything. You know, it's like everything's got a fucking logo on it now. And some of them aren't even cool logos, you know, like this Dracula logo is so sick. And like, I just remember I was staring at this logo when I was a kid in like my comic magazines and like EGM or whatever, Electric Gaming Monthly or whatever magazine, and just seeing this skull, like this vampire with the wolves coming out. And it looks like it's made of stone, and it's just like this badass logo. And I was always captivated by this logo. So when I started doing logo work, I was like, I gotta do that Dracula logo, bro. So that's where that came from. Um, this this one, let's see. This isn't the first logo painting I did. This was like the second one. But you know, it's got the crucified skinhead, which would come in later, like all the skinhead iconography stuff. Adjacent to the Scream guy, like who's I got this from like a Spirit Halloween costume packet. And then yeah, the beat up Guile and Chun Li, like just images from childhood that got burned into my brain. And then yeah, the resigned, just never mind, just kind of whatever, like um Nirvana, you know, the band. And we could look at some of these, not all of them, but oh, um, this is the last painting I did. It was a birthday present for my roommate, and yeah, it was just on the table, and I used to just wander around the house taking these flash pictures of things, and yeah, I just thought this was really pretty, and I was like, wouldn't this be great to paint and like get really technical with like the water effect and everything? And I didn't really nail it, honestly. Like the glass and the water is like sort of there, but it isn't. It's not as strong as it could be. I could have made that better. It's decent. It's like 7 out of 2. It's all right. My favorite part of this painting, though, it's this stuff in the background. I like this background a lot. This just like just like skittering mark on the background of just like radiant color. I really like that. I also kind of like how there's some kind of anatomical aspects in the flowers that I didn't really mean to do. Those were unintentional, but they do kind of look vaguely familiar. Um, Self portrait, one of my last paintings too. I just wanted to paint a goofy self portrait, and that's what came out. I just wanted to do this cartoonified, like, here I am in my favorite shirt. What else do you want, kind of thing. Um, this is from like a Portuguese publication where they were doing like, or maybe Thai. I think it was actually, I think it was Thai. Like it had all these Thai letters and everything around it. This Thai promo card that they used when they showed Evil Dead 2. I think this is the second one. They showed Evil Dead 2 in a theater and passed all these little postcards. And this was one of the images that was on it. And I was like, I know this scene. I know this part. It's just such a cool image. I'm going to fucking paint it. So that's the sister bursting out of the basement. I think she's saying, like, I think this is the scene where she's like, give me your soul or something. I can't remember. These are stills from an adult website where people stream. I want to say it, but it's like a live adult website. Anyway, so I was somebody wanted a portrait of a girl, um, and I was just cruising that website and I just found this like pretty innocent looking girl. Um, she had me first tattooed on her throat, and I think it says "You keep me hanging on her collarbone," which was pretty cool. I was like, dang, she's got some like good taste, I guess. Like "You keep me hanging on." If that's a Velvet Underground reference, that's pretty sick. But yeah, like just a sweet looking girl, just like doing whatever, streaming. My first LA painting, as it's hanging right here. I don't know if I like this painting very much. I've looked at it too much. Tried my hardest to get rid of it, but I was never able to. Um, this is from a spiky bracelet. When I was a kid, having an item like this would have been the coolest fucking thing. Like I was really into spikes and like studs and like just like customizing my shit. And like to have this would have made me feel like a king when I was a kid. And I finally got one. I still have it somewhere. And yeah, I gifted like my nephew has the exact same one, and then the other one has a slightly different variation. But I mean, I gifted my nephews these spiky bracelets, and their wrists are so small, their hands are so small that they have to wear it on their feet, their legs, and so yeah, this is just a spiky bracelet. I tried to exaggerate the colors and everything, and it might be kind of gay. I don't know if this is a gay painting. It's unintentional if it is. But yeah, I exaggerated all the colors. I just tried to make it shiny and like um this is the coolest object that I think a punker could have. And yeah, this is my punk painting. I used to take these pictures of flowers late at night where it was like these blooming flowers, but it was, midnight outside. And so this is one of them. I have a bunch of these. I have like dozens of pictures like this. And I selected a bunch to make paintings out of, but I just haven't gotten to it. But yeah, I think the sunflower at midnight is like a very strong image. This is one of the last paintings I did before I moved to LA. This is still life. This is all still life. I did trace this from a picture and wrapped it semi like it would be on the ball. So I did trace this element. I used tracing paper and charcoal to make it mark on the page or on the canvas, and then painted like this gray. But yeah, so that's not real life. I faked that moment, but everything else is from life. Kind of depicting. This is from the garage too, so it's depicting like clinical stability. You know, just hiking a bunch, playing, shooting hoops, taking my pills, and just admiring life. You know, so that's what this still life is about. Um, I read most of this book when I was like going through my Chili Peppers phase, and something about the cover, and like I just think this whole thing's funny. You know, I this is just a funny painting for me. Flea smoking a cig or a joint or whatever, and I just liked the colors on the book cover, and I was just like, let me try and like exaggerate those colors a little bit and make this kind of sun faded picture look a little stranger or something. And I think I did a pretty good job. I think it looks good. But yeah, I mean, I fucking I got to the middle of this book, and I just like I can't read any more of this. Not as bad as what's his name, Kiedis's book, but um, yeah, it's just like L.A. was so cool back in the day, over and over. And I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, this is Pretty Woman on the TV, which is a pretty big movie for me. Not much these days, but I was watching this movie a lot when I made this painting. Just watching Pretty Woman on a loop over and over. So yeah, that's another midnight painting or midnight picture that I took and then decided to make into a painting. Um, One of my best, I think. My roommate was like, "Dice, that die is too big. That dice is dice aren't usually that big or something." That was his qualm with this painting. Um, but yeah, everything else is pretty good, I think. um, but yeah, this dice I stole. I think I told this story. I stole from this kid in elementary school who had just got back from like a Vegas trip or something, and he opened a door and then left it in the handle. And then when I walked by, I noticed it and swiped it. And then he was like, "Where is it? Oh man, where is it? My mom's gonna kill me or something." And I was just like, haha. Yeah, I mean the Vegas dice are bigger than normal dice. So my roommate being like, "That's too big." It's like I don't know. He was just pissed, I think. I think he was just kind of pissed that he hadn't made anything like this. And then um it was just kind of like being nitpicky or something. I don't know. This is Esteban Winsmore. He's one of my first favorite memes ever. He's a viral sensation. Um, I think this is from his like Memepedia or something. Like, so the home invasions of Esteban Winsmore. He plays Second Life. That's his Second Life character. Um, Club Esteban. Anyway, I think this was a picture from Wikipedia. I should put my let's see. Yeah, I can't show that one. I was thinking about putting my Sopranos paintings on on my website. My Carmela and my Anthony Jr. painting. They're not that good, but hey, it's work, you know. My drawings, I don't know. I don't know if I should talk about my drawings. They're just kind of whatever. I did this as a Oh, that's how you zoom. Okay. This is a promotional image for my first magazine. Um, I did this in a day. Well, I mean, this isn't my image. I found it somewhere. It's just, this is original to the source material too. It says "World at War" really big, and then this sold. I think this is from Sergeant Rock. Oh, which is like a Dark Horse comic, I think. Um, Maybe DC. I can't remember, but yeah. I mean, I did this quick. I did this in a day, like an afternoon, which felt really good to do. It feels really good to work that fast. Um, I did all these like right after I left LA. So this is the right outside of El Prado, that wine bar that I was talking about earlier. So it's kind of, this one's weird. I didn't mean to draw the exhaust pipe coming out the front. I don't know. I was like stoned or something when I did this, and like, so the exhaust is coming out the front, and so yeah, this is me just driving out of LA, and like here's all the vampiric spirit kind of things, and the big ass Jollibee. When you drive to Arizona out of LA, you run into this giant corporate Jollibee building, and I just had to put that in. It always cracked me up seeing that giant ass building. But yeah, here's another one. I made this series for a guy. He told me to draw like these little motifs, and I think he ended up buying this one. But yeah, I was like, I'll draw three, and then you pick your favorite one. And I think he chose this one. I can't remember. But yeah, I like drawing in this style where it's really like so. This is me in the garage. I like this flower a lot, but um, I like drawing in this really overwrought kind of crazy style where like there's all these little lines going everywhere. I've been doing this for a minute, but yeah, I like feeling all these little windows, kind of treating them like they're their own panels for comics, and there's always somebody in them, or some flames, or two lovers embracing, or this little naked fella, or like these butt cheeks, or like this eyeball. There's a lot to look at in every little area, and I even like these lines in the bricks too. I like making them, and I just love the way they look, or whatever. And then yeah, my rules for being an artist. I like these flowers. I like I like my new drawings quite a bit. Best friends to lovers pipeline. And then a Sailor Moon in my room. That's what my room looks like. And yeah, like there were always these in LA, like these these signs that just had all these items and things like listed in different colored letters, and I liked those a lot. Um, but yeah, this is like my last LA thing. I don't know if I should show this, but my last LA one, people just 69ing in these cars, and I thought that was really funny. And it's funny that it says Los Angeles in it. It's almost like I knew that I was kind of about to leave. But yeah, I did a lot of these where it's just these overwrought, detailed. I did these warmer ones are from COVID, so I did these during COVID. All these are pre LA, like right before I moved to LA. I went to Savannah. All these stark white ones are from Arizona when I live in here. So all this stuff um I made this in Savannah. I But these I think I made when I was living in Arizona after living in Texas. Is when I kind of developed this style of like making stuff just like crazy style, which I really enjoy doing. I need to make some more like this. Um, but yeah, all these I made in Savannah too when I was on sabbatical, and then these ones I made in LA, like right right when I moved there, and then right before my roommate kicked me out. Um, I remember making these. He was like, "You're not working hard enough," and I'm like, "What do you mean, dude? I'm like drawing all the fucking time." But whatever, it's fine. This was from a school down the street from where I used to live. It's like it's perfect. Like it's just the perfect image. Damn, I must have scanned this in at like a really low resolution. It kind of looks like shite. Kind of looks like shite. But yeah, these are the hills near my house, and then yeah, this is kind of like what the neighborhood looked like. All these old buildings and signs everywhere, and the gate is open. Come relax a little. Yeah, the metal logo. I still love them. Still love heavy metal logos. But yeah, I tried to. Somebody commissioned this one. I didn't want to do like this Virgin Mary motif. Um, he's like, I want a painting with the Virgin Mary and Tweety Bird in it, and I could kind of. I think you could kind of tell that I didn't really want to do it because like the rest is kind of like half-assed. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was weird that guy. Like he was like every like 5 months, 6 months or so, he would contact me again and be like, "Hey man, you still got those paintings? I'm down to pay. Like, let me know." And I'm like, "Yeah, I still got them. And there's still $300 if you want to send it. I'll put them in the mail." He's like, "Yeah, right on, man. I got you. I get paid on Friday. I'll send it then." He did that like 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, "Forget it. Like I'm not gonna. You're not gonna pay me, and I'm not gonna send them, and I'm just not gonna talk to you anymore." So I think I blocked him on everything, but that was really annoying because he wanted like 4 paintings or like 4 drawings, and I made them all, but he just never bought them. Um, it was a tactic that my dad calls chasing the money or something like that. No one ever bought this one. I liked this one a lot. This like fetish image with with the possessed logo, but no one wanted this one. I was really stoked on that when I made it. But yeah, I gotta draw more, man. Classic. I should just condense my website just to this image. It's pretty emblematic of what who I am and what my skill set is and everything. Just lamaho.com and this image. That's it. Anyway, click around, have a fun time. Add me on Instagram. Uh, I got I gotta get to work. But anyway, I did not mean to stream for 2 hours about my artwork, but just chatting. It's just the chatting. Just the chatting channel today. Anyway, thanks for watching. Big love. Let's see, I could do it again. Bye.